what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you scheduled your wedding and even your child's birth around your school's game? Of course. But it means more than that. It means you're home to hundreds of Fulbright, Truman, Goldwater, and Rhodes Scholars. It means starting out as the birthplace of American public higher education, and now leading the way in unmanned spacecraft. This is the SEC. And here, it just means more. What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That there's an honest-to-goodness chandelier in your tailgate tent? Perhaps, but it means more than that. It means pioneering medical solutions to predict new flu viruses. It means leading globally diverse teams to eliminate starvation in developing countries. And it means being home to one of the nation's top cybersecurity programs. This is the SEC. And here, it just means more.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
There you go. There you have it. We are back. We are live. And, of course, that means we are brand new. It's Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond. We are holding court this morning here inside the Bill Penney Toyota Service Department. Their doors have just rolled open. The cars are rolling in. You can get your car serviced here at Bill Penney Toyota Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then on Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And you still have 7 days to buy 3 tires and get that fourth one for $1 here at Bill Penney Toyota. We are good. Talent Heating and Air also helping us get started this morning. They are our good friends at Talent Heating and Air. You can find them online at talenthvac.com, 256-503-4490. You can give them a call today, get a quote. You can send a message. I don't care what you do, but if you need something with your air conditioner system, go ahead and give Thomas, Terry, and Jeremy a call. Tune-up, system installation, natural gas, indoor air quality, service and repair, duct work. You can give it all. They will take care of you. I promise. TalentHVAC.com, 256-503-4490 to get a hold of them. Now, I think we're good. I think we're ready to get started. Big thank you last night. Steve Moulton and myself had a chance last night. We hosted the Spraggy Awards. on the campus of UAH. It was a great night there. Big thank you to everyone involved there, Jen Cole and company. Huge thanks. It was a fantastic night, and it's UAH's athletic awards. So there were plenty of awards handed out: men's lacrosse, women's lacrosse, best dressed. You had the best female athlete, best male athlete. It was a good night, and they did it all in about an hour. So, I mean, it was they got you in, they got you out. It was a fantastic night there on the campus of UAH. Coming up today, we've got a fantastic show. We're going to get you ready for the NFL draft. Chad Reuter's going to join us from the NFL Network. He'll join us at the top of the hour at 8 o'clock. And then our good buddy Mike Detillier will join us at the bottom of the second hour at 8:30 as we really start to hone in on this NFL draft. Round one gets underway tomorrow in Wisconsin, Green Bay, Wisconsin, to be exact. So the countdown continues, 35 hours, 56 minutes, and 47 seconds until round one of the NFL draft. Yesterday, we'll start you with some college football. Yesterday, the College Football Playoff Committee and ESPN, they did announce the dates and times for next year's playoff quarterfinals, semifinals, and national championship. Your playoff quarterfinals, you will have one game on Wednesday, December 31st. That'll be at the Cotton Bowl. And then your Orange Bowl, Rose Bowl, and Sugar Bowl will be on Thursday, January 1st. Your Orange Bowl will get underway at 11 a.m. Rose Bowl will get underway at 3 p.m. That is a change from their traditional time slot. And then the Sugar Bowl will get underway at 7 o'clock on January 1st. So you're going to get three of those games on New Year's Day. Then on January 8th was when we will have the playoff semifinals. The Fiesta Bowl will be first. That'll be a 6:30 kick. And then your Peach Bowl will be the late kick, and that'll be a 6:30 kick. Oh, I should say, well, wait a minute. Yeah, that'll be on the 9th on Friday. So you got one on Thursday, one on Friday. Your national championship game will come your way Monday, January 19th. It'll be in Miami, and it'll be a 6:30 kickoff there in Miami. So the dates are announced.
Yeah, it'll be my brother's birthday. It'll be interesting, the national championship game. So January the 19th in Miami, and then hell froze over because the Rose Bowl moved their kickoff time an hour.
Yeah, that was the huge ordeal yesterday when they announced these times. Yeah. It was, oh my gosh, because remember, the Rose Bowl threatened to hold out and not be a part of all of this if they did not get their traditional kickoff time slot.
Well, did they hold out?
They held out as long as they could, but they got it moved an hour.
Did it work?
Apparently, they're still a part of it. So,
do they have an Iamaliava on their committee?
Well, I tell you what, there's a Amelia. Oh, there is one of those brothers that's in. He's going to have to open up the wallet a little bit because Arkansas is coming a calling.
Yeah, I don't blame Hunter Yurachek. I don't blame any of these schools.
No, Hunter Yurachek put out a note, and he did not specifically. Hunter Yurachek did not specifically put out a name. Yeah. He put out a statement yesterday that says, I have spoken with the leadership team at Arkansas Edge, expressed my support in their pursuit to enforce the rights under any agreement violated by our student athletes moving forward. In other words, you guys have our permission to go after some of these guys that basically got NIL money and left.
That's what I mean. I mean, he was there for 2 months, went through, spring practice for the most part, and then, cashed some checks. And as Brandon Marcello, 24/7 college football insider hinted, and also our good friend Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports, these guys have buyouts. Sometimes it's not enforced, but I'd start enforcing the hell out of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want to walk away and agree to a contract, even sign it, and then, oh, well, guess what? X school is offering me more money, or, I'm going to go play with my brother at UCLA because, we tried to strong arm Tennessee and it blew up in our face. And, we all want to go back home to the worst state in the United States in California, and be taxed out our rear ends. Well, hey, that's great. But if you want to do that, you're going to get taxed out your rear end in your new place. And you're also going to pay us a buyout for what we paid you. You know what I'm saying? This is not have your cake and eat it too. And then, cash some checks and then you're not going to, have any consequences to your actions. So I think even guys like I saw Sam Walters, former Alabama player, good kid, but couldn't guard me. He played at Alabama for a year. Then he played at Michigan. He committed to Mississippi State, and then he turns around and signs with SMU. Well, if you signed anything with Mississippi State, you ought to have to pay something back.
True.
I don't care if you haven't enrolled. They probably gave you some kind of signing bonus, so give it back. Okay. You can't just play this merry-go-round game. So, now if you just verbally agreed and, they haven't signed anything, that's one thing. And maybe that's the case with him. I know supposedly Mo Diabate, he agreed twice with Alabama. His agent kept coming back and, he went to Kentucky. And Kentucky, I hope they can win a championship. Considering
the rumors are out there with Kentucky basketball. Over $20 million for this team?
I saw him tagged on X that our good friend David Sisk was reporting they were going to have the highest payroll in the country, and they were going up to $20 million. And I guess they were over the scholarship / roster limit because Travis Perry, native son, he went in the transfer portal yesterday. So. But heck, they've only got one basketball. We'll see if this works. Sometimes signing an all-star team works. Sometimes it doesn't. Kentucky's been ultra aggressive in trying to sign one player after another because I had heard because I'll be blunt, I haven't kept up with their entire roster. I know they just got Denzel Aberdeen from Florida, and they've been going overseas getting guys. They got Mo Diabate, so I was like, okay. Let's see. I had heard they were at 14 spots. So, and right now, again, there could be 14 by July 1, but nobody knows that for sure. And so Travis Perry ends up transferring, but they do have a really good roster on paper. We'll see if it fits together.
Yeah, that was the rumor that came out, and a lot of people were kind of laughing at that yesterday, just how much money Kentucky had spent. Now, the good news is if you are a college basketball fan, and I guess you could say that there is some kind of good news, that the transfer portal did close yesterday for college basketball. The window closed yesterday. Now, you're still going to hear guys in the portal. You're still going to hear so-and-so is in the portal for college basketball. Don't panic. All that means is that they got all their paperwork in before the window closed. And it's just now coming out that they're in the portal. So the next few days, you're still going to hear guys. You're still going to hear guys that are saying, oh, they're going in the portal. They're going in the portal. Heck, there's over 2,000. There's over 2,000 guys in the portal. If you want to be mystified and if you want to do a head scratcher, there's close to 200, 300 guys that are in the college basketball portal that have no years of eligibility left.
Yep.
Zero. They are in the college portal because they're hoping to get a rule, or they're hoping to get what do you call it? They're hoping to get something, a rulement or whatever in their favor, so that they can play another year. They're trying to get an appeal to play. So all these guys
out.
Yeah.
You're 25 years old. You play 5 years. Get the hell out. Go play overseas. But see, they think they can make more money in NIL than overseas. They ought to have every one of their waivers struck down and get the hell out of here. You played long enough. That's it. Okay. I agree with Jeff Goodman completely. It's time. This is not professional basketball. You don't get to play forever. Even in the pros, but it's time to move on.
Yeah.
All you people that think your stupid lawyer is going to be able to, get an injunction and get you an extra year. What? That you're going to try to get one again next year after that? Give me a break. Get out of here. It's a complete money grab is all it is, because you don't think you're going to get drafted in the NBA because you're not good enough to get drafted into that sad sack league. And then since you're not, there are opportunities overseas, but right now, if the rumors are true, and a guy like Mo Diabate, who has never averaged 10 points a game in a season, is getting $2 million, and Chad Baker Mazzara is trying to get $2 million, and all these dudes are, and you know why they're doing
Chad
it.
Baker Mazzara got, and you find out now, Chad Baker Mazzara got his feelings hurt.
Oh yeah, that at least according to the Field of 68 anyway.
Yeah, he got his feelings hurt because Auburn went out and signed our guy from Mississippi State.
No, from UCF.
Or from UCF, and they paid him
to $2 million
than what they were going to pay Chad Baker Mazzara.
Twice as much.
Yeah, he got his feelings hurt and went into the portal.
Yeah, that's according to Dick Weiss, who is a Hall of Fame level reporter who's been around a long, long time. Dick Weiss reported this yesterday that that's why Chad Baker Mazzara left, because of the what Auburn was able to offer the young man. And I mean, that's an amazing thing. I mean, that just shows you the money that is being thrown around. I mean, that's
Auburn? Yeah.
I'm just saying
that they offered Keyshawn Hall.
Keyshawn Hall from UCF is the guy, the wing, 6'7", 235 pounds. But that just shows you the money that's being thrown around to these kids, because again, they offered
Chad Baker Mazzara $1.1 million to return to Auburn.
Right.
He got his feelings hurt because he discovered the Tigers offered transfer Keyshawn Hall double the amount of money to come to Auburn, and therefore put his name in the portal.
Yeah, I mean, and then again, but I will say, Chad Baker Mazzara, he also had some stipulations in his contract, and he did it to himself. He's getting ejected, getting all these, getting the reputation for being a guy that's an agitator, someone that was ejected multiple times. Auburn was trying to protect itself. And again, but I'm not going to lay this on Bruce Pearl either. I mean, the coaching staff is involved with who they bring in ultimately, but supposedly the collective is the one negotiating the contracts and with the agents. So again, Bruce Pearl, I don't think he was under any edict like, okay, pay, Chad Baker Mazzara this. They're negotiating with his representation. Same way, with Keyshawn Hall. Keyshawn Hall was the leading scorer for UCF. And, was I a little surprised to read that? Yeah. But I mean, again, this is going to happen because there's a caste system being created. Look at PJ Haggerty, what he's wanting from Memphis, supposedly. He's wanting $4 million and to play mostly point guard. Almost exclusively wherever he goes, and he's left Memphis where he was basically the AAC player of the year. So yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, they're wanting all these guarantees and stuff, but see that's just, it's tough because if it's done so publicly, and like Lane Kiffin, I remember him talking about it at SEC football media days. All these guys talk to one another and find out what each other's making. It's going to create some resentment, especially, I mean, PJ Haggerty's the best player on his team, but especially if, I'll be honest, I guess you could say Chad Baker Mazzara would be the best returning player on Auburn's team. But I mean, when there's a situation where you think you may be better than a guy and he's making more money than you, that's tough. So that's what Nick Saban always talked about. And that's why, I think every college coach out there, whether it's football, basketball, whatever, I mean, you want some sort of cap, some sort of limit. So, and again, guys are paid at different levels in the NFL, and that's kind of where you're going. But I'll just say this, that's why they need protection, because you can only go with what the market's offering you.
Right.
Look at the Iamaleavas, especially Nico. He's taking a pay cut to go to UCLA because, look, that's what you're getting offered, man. So, and who knows, Mazzara, he may get that $2 million price tag. That's the one we've heard. That's probably because what Keyshawn Hall got.
Right.
But, and we'll see. I mean, I'll just say, I think that it just shows you how much volatility there is out there in the market. And again, PJ Haggerty, I wouldn't pay him $4 million. I think he's a really good player, but $4 million,
well,
not a chance.
We were talking about the Kentucky roster. It is rumored that Kentucky is paying two guys $3.5 million. They're paying another one $3 million. They're paying $2 million. They're paying two guys $1.5 million, and they're paying another two guys $1 million this year apiece. So that is where the $20.6 million is coming in for Kentucky's basketball roster this next basketball season. $20.6 million for a college basketball roster.
Well, and then look, Dick Weiss also tweeted this because Rodney Rice, who left Maryland, he did not go to Villanova to follow Kevin Willard. He ultimately signed with Ernest T. Bass, a.k.a. Eric Musselman, out there at USC, and supposedly he's getting over $3 million. I mean, that's insane. Now, let's all understand, where's he playing? He's playing at USC, which means
$3 million is about $150,000.
I was going to say at least a third of that is going to the state of California and their corruption. But anyway, I mean, I'm just, telling you.
I know.
You're going to get taxed quite a bit going to SC.
All right, let's get our first break into the morning. It's Talking Ball. We're live from Bill Penney Toyota. 35 hours, 41 minutes, and 30 seconds until the NFL draft. Well, we'll start talking a little bit more about it coming up after the break.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got an accident working University and the Parkway. That one is an injury type. Had one on Old Madison Pike near Shelton Road. It should be moved now. And we've got one in Morgan County on West Piney Grove Road at Falkville. That one had a tractor trailer and a train involved. They've got that stretch of Piney Grove closed right now. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. You can make it safer for them. Slow down or move over. It's the law. Captain Eck in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
But you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10-plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penney Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penney perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penney Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penney Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPenneyToyota.com. Bill Penney's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID, and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. At Newmarket, Jefferson's will be opening a new location at 2190 County Road 65 very soon. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. Hampton Cove, and soon in Newmarket.
Rocket City, for air that's cool and clean, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart with Professor Green and the expert team at sensagreen.com. Now offering up to $1,500 off any new Bryant system. Whatever it takes, Sensa Green has Huntsville covered. Remember, folks, with innovative, sensible green solutions, contact Sensa Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
Hello, listeners. My name is Jonathan Dunwoody, and I own Minuteman Press. We are a full-service print shop that is locally owned and operated. I have personally been handling direct mail for over 17 years and have a great relationship with the USPS. We are the only print shop in the area that is listed as a print provider on their website and the only printing franchise that can use their logo as our partner on marketing materials. We can help from conception to design, print, and delivery to the post office. And with our easy, secure online payment option, you don't even need to leave your office. Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
It all comes back to money.
Visit our store right now at zonedeals.bigdealsmedia.net to take advantage of all the best deals in the Tennessee Valley. Or just go to our website, 977espn.com, and click on the Zone Deals logo to start saving right now.
Now, as to the price.
These deals won't last long, so get yours now. Zone Deals. You'll thank us later.
A man who could easily afford to buy a vowel.
Sports Talk, 24/7, 365. Your full-time sports station.
You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Doesn't anyone do any work around this joint anymore?
Countdown continues.
And Scott, I wanted to say this.
To round one of the NFL draft, yeah.
We were talking to start the show about how the insanity of the portal, and you were talking about it closed, but yet you're right.
By the way, Division I portal has closed.
Yeah.
The Division II portal is open.
Okay,
so you can still go in Division II. You can come in and out of Division II. It doesn't really close. This is just the Division I portal window that closed yesterday.
And Jeff Goodman he was saying that there is another prominent name probably going to go in, but trying to get paperwork filled out, as you mentioned, you can still. And then I've had people ask me this: just don't panic if you like. Alabama has 3 spots. Auburn's still filling their roster.
Yes,
as long as guys have gone in the portal, they can stay in the portal until they make their decision. There's no deadline on you. Well, you got to choose a destination by this time. Blah blah blah.
This is just to go in. This is to get your name in, your paperwork in, and everything else. If you have the intentions to go in, yes, you can come out. You can come out a day before classes. You can come out a day before whatever. You can come out in the middle of July if you want to. If you find a school that you want, you can go in July 10th, or you can come out August 1st or June 15th. It doesn't matter as long as you're in. It doesn't matter when you come out.
And I think this might be referring to Rodney Rice. He does, once again, like Hunter Yurchek didn't mention a name.
Right.
Rob Doster, co-founder with Jeff Goodman of the Field of 68, did not mention a name either, but Fordham is being smacked with some quote-unquote sanctions for some recruiting inducements, which is ridiculous in this time period. But as Rob Doster said, kids that were the third best player on a Sweet 16 team are getting $3.5 million to transfer, and we're giving A-10 coaches 2-year show causes for taking recruits to NFL games, tennis matches, and photo shoots in Times Square. What are we doing here?
Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
None. And in schools like Fordham, if they have a great player, they're getting pilfered. I mean,
well, they are.
Think about what Craig Stevenson of AL.com reported this week, that with all the portal activity, because it's going to close, very soon, football-wise as well. You look at it, and South Alabama has had half their starters in their top 22 enter the portal. Yeah. I mean, these group of 5 programs are getting just ransacked with guys that want to move up.
Well, because remember a couple of years ago, we went out. We were over at Sparkman for that showcase, right?
Yep.
And we had junior college coaches sit down with us, and the one thing they told us was, the junior college is going to they felt that the junior college level was going to get hit worse by all of this.
Yes.
Because the feeling was these mid-majors were going to technically, quote unquote, become junior colleges for college basketball, because your Power Fives were going to look at your group of 5s and they were going to take them over a junior college guy, because you go and develop them, spend a couple years getting them developed. And if you're a Power 5, you can just easily come down to a Jack State, for instance, or you can come to a UNA, for instance, and you can take their best players, their 2 best players, take them, pay them, They're already developed. They've already played college basketball. And in most cases, they've played against guys on the Power 5 level because of the scheduling. So they're familiar with a lot of things, and they've got really good experience. And you don't have to develop them a lot. You bring them in and you get them to your system, and they're good. Let's go out to the phone lines. Johnny on his cell is with us. Good morning, Johnny.
What's up, Johnny?
Morning, guys.
Morning.
Yeah, the transfer portal gives and the transfer taketh, right? I mean, look, at the end of the day, you got to trust that look, we all know that Oates is doing a fantastic job at Alabama, that, that Auburn's coach is doing, Pearl's got things rolling at Auburn. And at the end of the day, they're going to get theirs. I mean, the amount of money that's going into NIL and for the, basketball. I mean, you only got 13, 14 slots, maybe 15 if they up it with house. But it's not like you have to roster 87 kids, right? So the money's going to be higher per player for basketball, just like it is in the NBA contract.
Right, right.
But that being said, I mean, you got to feel comfortable if you're Alabama or you're Auburn that your coaches have got it. They've got this system kind of wired, and they've got people looking at them like they used to look at Duke, like they used to look at Kentucky, like, Alabama is sending kids to the pros. Auburn's sending kids to the pros. I mean, it's no longer Duke, Kentucky, Kansas, and North Carolina. You have to include Bama and Auburn in that mix as places to go if you want to get to the next level.
Yeah, that is true. No doubt about it. I mean, I think some programs on the college football, and college basketball have deeper pockets than others. It's almost like right now, until they get some of these guardrails up, it is almost like Major League Baseball, but it goes back to something Nick Saban said during his first season on College Game Day. You better choose the right players because, again, it can be like a house of cards if you don't put a proper roster together.
Well, I can tell you this. Unless these other schools figure out a way to jump up and get money, you're going to see Ohio State, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, SMU, those Texas billionaires. They told the world, look, we don't need your paltry $26 million from the ACC's media rights to get us a seat at the table, and they done it. And,
they did.
They've got bucks. They have deep pockets, and they don't mind spending it for college football. And if you're an Alabama fan, or you're a Georgia fan, or you're a Tennessee fan, if you don't want to see your program become a 9-4 school and miss the freaking playoffs, then you're going to have to find a way to pony up out of your pockets or get your larger fan base to pony up money to support the program, or you're going to see yourself at 9-4 and missing the playoff a lot more than you're seeing yourself 11-1 and being in charge.
And that is why a lot of Clemson fans, I think, Drew, are kind of scratching their heads because remember, Clemson has not shown the fortitude to go out and spend a lot of money. They still want to develop high school kids, do a lot of recruiting, not spend a lot in the portal. And I think that you're seeing some of these programs make choices on how they're going to do it. It's becoming clear. Not everybody is going to go out and do what Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss did last year and spend a lot of money on guys. Some are going to mix. Ohio State spent a lot to keep a lot of guys.
Well, they added some big time pieces too. That worked out really well.
They didn't go out and buy everyone on that team. They spent a lot of money to keep a lot of guys and then sprinkle in some big ones.
And it was still bumpy. They weren't without bumps in the road.
Look, if you think it's not going to be bumpy, okay, you look at the schedule in the SEC. If you're a road team at night going to the SEC in a top, those night games are always big games. If you're the road team, you only have an 18% chance of winning that ball game. That's a statistical fact. You go look at how many times the road team got their kicked at night in the SEC. It does. You don't win on the road at night in the SEC. And I'm telling you, you losing to Vanderbilt with their $1 million quarterback. you better find a way to put some money on the table to put kids on the field. If not, you're going to see these games where they're riding, they're taking their goalposts out to the river.
Right.
All right, Johnny. Thanks for the
Appreciate
phone call,
man.
No, he's right. He's right on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
All right, 7:32. Let's get a break in. We've been live from Bill Penney Toyota, enjoying a Wednesday morning. Our service department is open. We're going to get a break in. When we come back, go back out to the phone lines as well. 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky through the course of the afternoon, continuing to talk about the opportunity for isolated and widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s, dropping into the low and mid 60s as we head into the overnight early into your Thursday morning, holding on to the opportunity for a little bit of rain. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky once again for your Thursday, and once again, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s. We're also holding on to the opportunity for isolated and widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a wreck on the Parkway. They're reporting it southbound at Oakwood. Got a train and a tractor trailer that got together in Morgan County. It's on West Piney Grove at Falkville. Apparently a no injury from what I'm hearing, but they do have West Piney Grove closed right now. And we had Parkway and University as an injury type, still maybe trying to clear it. Do you know who to call when you need a heart doctor? You could write the name down now so you have it in the future. Dr. Randall Burns is at Huntsville Heart Specialist on Bob Wallace Avenue. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
The sound of the organ. The crack of the bat.
It is gone.
The sight of watching the ball go over the wall. And the taste of peanuts and Cracker Jacks. There's nothing like it. It's America's pastime. From the first pitch to the final out, you can hear every game right here on your home for Alabama baseball.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. If any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today, 256-208-9000, 256-208-9000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
It just works. Picture this. You're at home doing whatever it is you do. Then the power goes out. Then what?
Well, at my house, life goes on. We have a Generac automatic home standby generator from Current Electrical and Generator Services. For your home security and peace of mind, get a free personal consultation on how a Generac automatic home standby generator can protect you. Current Electrical and Generator Services. Call or visit us on the web at HuntsvilleGenerators.com. You've got the power.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I got rice cooking in the microwave.
All right, 7:38 Wednesday morning. Used to be in here on a Monday, so now it's a Wednesday morning. Welcome back into the program. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, 256-576-4977. That's how you can spend your mornings with us. We go out to the phone lines. Brandon is with us. Good morning, Brandon.
Good morning.
What's up?
I have some good news. For you, gentlemen.
All right.
So I go to Spring Gardens softball senior day yesterday, which the game was rained out because you could have swam back to Floyd County, Georgia from there. There was so much water. And they got up and gave the spiel about everybody there. Every single senior that played basketball or softball has a full ride scholarship to an Alabama in-state school.
That's awesome, man. School. Yeah, and I know they're both athletically and academically inclined, so it says a lot for the leadership of that school and the young people in those programs that's the case, man.
University of Alabama comes in after the fact to one Maggie Jarrett and says, "We know you had a full ride to Jack State, but your grades are so outstanding
Nice.
that we'll give you a full academic ride to the University of Alabama, where she will reunite with one Ace Austin as her roommate."
Oh, cool. That's awesome right there.
It's amazing the achievement that you can have and the burden that you can take off of your parents, even at a 1A school.
Mm-hmm.
I was really proud yesterday to be there for that, and to see every one of those girls in that room be able to look their parents in the face and say, "You don't owe anything for me to go to school anywhere. It's all paid for." And I don't know that I've ever been at a school where I could name that many starters of that many sports at a school that small that pulled something like that off.
It's awesome, man. No doubt.
This goes to show what good coaches are worth.
Yep.
And what good reinforcement from the community is worth, and how it will pay for itself in time if fostered correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Great, just culture there. As a community, everybody seems to be in lockstep, and they take great pride in what they do, both on and off the court and the field, and it's great to see, no doubt about that.
I was just at a loss for words. I knew there were a lot of them that had got full rides.
Yeah.
I did not know that it was basically every single starter on volleyball, basketball, and softball. They all have right. Granted, there's about 90% repeats there. So, I mean, that does happen outside of basketball, but I wanted to share that with you guys because I figured you would probably be interested to know. And there were a lot of thank yous yesterday to you guys about what you did. I told them I knew that y'all wouldn't be able to be there for that because it's such a long drive, but there was a lot of appreciation for you guys for coming down and putting them there. And just looking forward to seeing what these girls do moving forward. I'm going to be at a few Jack State games. I'm going to go take some stuff in, and it's going to be great. Now, these house rules, are we thinking that they are going to fully eliminate walk-ons?
Yes.
Totally. Is that just football, or is that all sports?
Well, no, primarily it's going to be in football because it's going to set the roster sizes at around 105.
Mm-hmm.
And for instance, a lot of college football teams right now are expecting this to happen. Arizona State, I'll just use this as an example. Kenny Dillingham down there at Arizona State has already told his walk-ons to find another place. He wants them to go into the portal, and he wants these guys that aren't going to play because he wants them to get into the portal now and try to find another school, because in August, the feeling is in August, this will all be worked out and the roster sizes will be set to around 105 for Scott, around 105. They're going to have to cut guys. And he's like, I don't want to have to cut guys in August to have to try to find a new school. Let them go now so that they can get ahead of the process and find a new school by August.
Do we think that will be the same for like women's softball and women's basketball, or is that primarily just going to pertain to?
Well, I'll tell you this: in the Southeastern Conference, in track and field, they have already set their roster limit. They've already come out and said this is going to be the new roster limit for track and field. We are going to reduce it. It's significantly reduced from other conferences. I know that for a fact. Now, I don't know about the other sports is what they're going to do, but I know it's impacting, quote unquote, your Olympic sports.
The basketball, I think they were going to, there's speculation it'll go from 13 to 15. And it used to be 15 back in the day, back in the 80s and 90s. Right. But as we all know, with the transfer portal, good luck keeping 15 guys.
Right.
You can't play them all.
And that's the thing, too, now that the feeling, too, around some of these other sports is the roster size, Brandon, may stay the same, but the amount of guys and gals on certain sports getting full scholarships will increase. So, yes, you may have smaller rosters, but you also may have guys and women that actually get more scholarship money because of this, but the roster size could stay the same. It's very weird on how a lot of this is going to work.
Well, I guess I was wondering, so like if you were a really good player at a 1A school, but you weren't good enough to get offered a full sports scholarship, but you're on full academic scholarship, you wouldn't be able to walk on and try out primarily for most of these sports going forward because of roster limits, most likely, correct?
Right. Just depends on what they set the roster limits as, yes.
And if you've filled all your spots. So if you've only got 13 players out of 15 on sports scholarship, can you then allow for 2 walk-ons, or is that just completely eliminated and you just carry 13 people?
Now that I don't know. It all depends on the language and the settlement and stuff. Don't know yet.
Well, I appreciate the education on that, gentleman, and roll tide.
All right, thanks.
And then I wanted to say too, because Ace Austin doesn't play softball, so she wasn't at this event that Brandon was talking about, because they were honoring the softball program. But I will give a shout out to Brian Domlick and Ace Austin. She put on a clinic yesterday, a basketball clinic, with the help of Christy Curry. You can do this now in the NIL era, but they had a Shooter's Paradise Rise and Grind. It was the Ace Austin First Annual Basketball Academy. So she put on to help grow basketball continuously in her area. She was over in Albertville doing that yesterday, along with a lot with Brian Domlick and a lot of those folks and Coach Curry. So that's great to continue to grow the women's game, and just another feather in the cap for, we were talking about those great folks over at Spring Garden.
All right, 7:46. Let's get a break in. When we come back, go back out to the phone lines, and we're going to wrap up hour 1 of Talkin' Ball.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a wreck on the Parkway. They're reporting it southbound at Oakwood. Got a train and a tractor trailer that got together in Morgan County. It's on West Piney Grove at Falkville. Apparently a no injury from what I'm hearing, but they do have West Piney Grove closed right now. And we had Parkway and University as an injury type, still may be trying to clear it. Do you know who to call when you need a heart doctor? You could write the name down now so you have it in the future. Dr. Randall Burns is at Huntsville Heart Specialist on Bob Wallace Avenue. Captain Eck in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Have you discovered Good Company Cafe? The place for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and so much more. Enjoy brunch all day and pair with one of our many seasonal refreshing drinks, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic options. Choose inside or outside on our gorgeous, spacious, dog-friendly patio and have some fun with friends playing yard games in the courtyard. See catering, to-go options, and lots more at goodcompany-cafe.com. Good Company Cafe, 7500 South Memorial Parkway.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bag compressor, a leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490.
AL certain number 21014.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
Tom Abraham back from my friend Ross Roberts at Valley Equipment Rental. It's springtime, so let's get that garden tilled with a tiller from Valley Equipment. And while you're at it, snag a power washer for the house and the driveway. And if you're putting in a sprinkler system, they have the small trencher that you need. And you can even rent a Skag zero-turn mower and much more to get your property in shape. Valley Equipment, not just for the contractor, but the homeowner as well. 2 locations on the North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penney Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penney perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penney Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penney Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPenneyToyota.com. Bill Penney's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Hi, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. And time flies, does it not? On a Wednesday morning, coming up again at the top of the hour, we're going to really start dialing in the NFL draft talk. 35 hours, 9 minutes, and 12 seconds until the round one, until round one of the NFL draft gets underway. The Tennessee Titans will be on the clock in just over 35 hours from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Let's get out to the phone lines. Richard is with us. Good morning, Richard.
Morning.
Morning, guys. Sort of on Brandon's question, I know Alabama, Drew probably knows this, is adding 40 more scholarships, but Texas is adding 105. So Alabama's setting their own limit out. They didn't say what sport, but I think saying basketball or even football, I think these last 10, 15 scholarships in football are going to be glorified walk-ons.
Yeah.
In other words, you're going to take somebody, instead of them going to Jacksonville State, Alabama's going to, take some all-state guy instead of an all-American guy to kind of fill these last, 10 or 15 slots, and basically probably have a zero NIL dollar amount or $5,000 or something versus, your starting quarterback at, 800,000 or something.
Well, yeah, I would agree with that. And look, I know Texas is adding all these scholarships, but there's certain sports that I guess they're gonna emphasize more than others. And Alabama will do the same. You have to make those decisions. But again, I will say this: I don't know if that's how Texas wants to build their 105-man roster, whatever it ends up being in football. But with this transfer portal, good luck trying to stack enough good players, because if you have too many, they're going to leave.
That's what they'll be there a year, and that's all, and then they'll transfer out. But like I said, I think you'll see. I mean, like Huntsville, had a your high school there had a really good team, but some of those guys I know, like I think one of them went to Stanford, but that's the kind of guy you may see Alabama go after.
Right. Right.
Now, some of these guys, really, kind of a glorified walk-on, and then they may turn into being a ball player, because you got a perfect example of Denver Jones, Chaney Johnson, Mark Sears.
Yeah.
Three of your best players in state last year. Alabama and Auburn didn't want them the first time through.
Yeah. Well, and then Jonah Broom ends up at Morehead State.
All right, Richard,
too.
thanks for the phone call as well, bub.
Yeah, good point, Richard. Good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's all, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you look at it, it all goes back to the development. UAH had a great hand. I'll just tell you this right now.
Yeah.
I'll just say this right now. He's out of eligibility.
Yeah.
But if Daniel Saylor had one more year of eligibility left,
yeah,
I guarantee you somebody from Big Five would look at Daniel Saylor and say, let me pay you
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me pay you. Let me pay you $500,000. Let me pay you $600,000 to come play for me for 1 year.
I mean that
because he's a 6'11" guy that can play, and he's still develop. They would take him. Somebody would take Daniel Saylor.
Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, we've already seen all the movement, even with Lenny Acuff building his roster at Samford, and and then you've seen Lipscomb. They're gonna Kevin Carroll be building his roster, and you could have seen Jacksonville State. There would have been. We saw Jack Costle move on to a Chattanooga team that won the NIT this past year. So yeah, Daniel Saylor and Tommy Murr, because Tommy Murr nearly went to a Division I school.
He nearly went to Samford.
Yeah, he absolutely did. He nearly went to Samford. Right before the season. I wasn't going to say the school, but we'll just go ahead.
I mean, he's done
out
now.
eligibility.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
He nearly went
to
Samford, and luckily, luckily, with that special group of players, because they had a special team as well. So again, it is what it is, but that's the climate you're in, and that's why Chaney Johnson, being the Gulf South Conference Player of the Year and being the late bloomer he was, that's why he got a chance for his last 2 years of eligibility after spending 3 years on campus at UAH to go to Auburn. Even though I really don't think he wanted to leave, but it was financially the move he had to make.
Well, you look at the Gulf South Conference this offseason.
Yeah.
There have been guys from Lee. There's been guys from Union.
Mm-hmm.
There's been guys from other that have made the move up to the Division I level, and they have taken those steps from the Division II to the Division I. It used to
Lenny
be.
Acuff has taken a couple of Division II guys already. I think from Florida Southern and Union.
Yeah.
Up to Samford as he's building his roster.
Yeah.
Because there's good players down there that can play on that. Well, I mean, I'll give you a great example because he decided to stay home and play for Coach and had an All-American career. But I think we all know Steve Webster could have played mid-major Division I basketball. He just decided not to.
Well, think about it. Let's go back. Even think about a guy like Josh Majette or a Jamie Smith or someone like that.
Both
back in the days from UAH.
I watched them
they
play
would have
against
gone.
Alabama. They had better guards in Alabama. Lenny Acuff told me after the game, he goes, Drew, I had the better guards. And he did.
Yeah.
He just didn't have JaMychal Green, and Alabama had Tony Mitchell, and the Tide rallied and won playing Grant skip ball. But
I mean, those guys back in the day, they would have made a killing.
Yeah.
On the NIL level.
Yeah, but I'm just glad that it is changing. But I'm glad to see that those guys played at UAH and helped.
Yes.
Set a tradition that is still helping. When we talked to Mick on Monday, that it still matters. The culture still matters, and he's been able to retain a lot of his players, and they've been able to add some pieces in the portal that I think they're very excited about.
All right, we are just about done with hour one. We've been live from Bill Penney Toyota Service Department all morning long. Don't forget, you have until the 30th to buy 3 tires and get that 4th one for $1 if you would like. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to really start digging in to the NFL draft. And I tell you what, this is the silly season. This is the leading into this point of the NFL draft. This is the silly season. And I say that because all of these anonymous GMs and executives and assistant coaches, they all start spewing all of this rhetoric about certain players. I mean, did you see the one about Shedeur Sanders? Tom Pelissero sits down every year and visits with assistant coaches and GMs and all of this. And he says one longtime NFL assistant says about Shedeur Sanders that it was the worst formal interview I've ever been in my life. He's so entitled. He takes unnecessary sacks. He never plays on time. He has horrible body language. He blames teammates. But the biggest thing is he's not that good.
Well,
that was from a longtime NFL assistant. Tom Pelissero has an article out on the NFL.com.
I mean, I watched him play some. I thought he got the heck beat out of him, but maybe that's because he was holding on to the ball too long. I don't know.
And speaking of the NFL draft, NFL Network, NFL.com, we're going to be joined by Chad Reuter next of the NFL Network. Draft analyst, researcher, guru. He's going to join us to help us break down this NFL draft. Hour 2's next.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. AI-powered betting models to help you make sharper picks during March Madness. Free 7-day trial available now at rhythm.com. That's RITHMM.com.
NFL draft kicks off tomorrow in Green Bay, and the Tennessee Titans have the number 1 overall pick. And bookmakers believe that Tennessee will select Miami quarterback Cam Ward. He is the heavy favorite to go number 1 to Tennessee. You have to bet $20,000 to win $100 on Cam Ward going number 1 overall. The NASCAR Cup Series, Jack Link's 500 at the Talladega Super Speedway. Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, all 11-1 to win it. William Byron and Brad Keselowski, 12-1. Baseball yesterday, Cardinals over the Braves 10-4. Braves at other 70 favorite this afternoon against the Redbirds. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. Their locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
It's hour 2 of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond. Welcome back into the program on a Wednesday morning. SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center helping us kick off hour number 2. For any of those nicks and bruises, give SportsMed Orthopedic Spine Center and give them a call, 256-881-5151 to experience the SportsMed difference. We are counting down to the draft, 34 hours, 58 minutes, and 47 seconds. That is what's left. And starting tomorrow, the NFL Network, they're going to provide live coverage of the 2025 NFL Draft in Green Bay starting tomorrow. In fact, it's going to get underway at 7 o'clock Central Time on the NFL Network. First round coverage from Green Bay, Wisconsin.
It really is, and we are going to be honored now to be joined. He's worked with the NFL Network, NFL.com. Since 2001, he's been a draftnik, and he's going to be in his native Wisconsin, which has to be exciting for him. I think it's really cool that they're moving the draft from city to city. Being in Green Bay is going to be really nostalgic. But Chad Reuter's been kind enough to join us this morning and talk some NFL draft. Chad, is this like Christmas morning for you? Because I know you build your board. We talked to a lot of these draftniks. I've been one a little bit in the past, maybe not as much now that I've gone into radio full time. But I know this has to be your favorite time of the year.
It is. Unwrapping the presents over the weekend will be nice, but part of my job with NFL media is sort of to be an advanced scout. So I've been scouting this class since May. I'll start in on next year's draft, in a week or so.
Wow.
So I'm kind of ready for it to be over. But,
there you go.
But it is so much fun to, get answers to the questions we've had for months. And so I am looking forward to seeing how it finally shakes, especially this year. There's a lot of questions to what's going on at the top of the draft. So it'll be great.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that, Chet, is a lot of that having to deal with the quarterback class in this year's draft.
Yeah, I mean, we just don't know. Somebody asked me, what's the pick range for Shadur Sanders and Jackson Dart? And I say 3 to 21, maybe even lower. I mean, we really don't know what teams. And the thing is, 30 teams can not like a quarterback, but it only takes one or two to make it happen early in the draft. So, but it's going to be fun to see how which teams have fallen in love with a guy during the process. And another thing is, even in the top 10, when you're talking about the top offensive tackles, are they good enough to be top 5 picks? They're not, these guys are not in the Joe Thomas range in terms of, elite talent. They're really good, but they're not, top 5 guys typically. How high can a running back go? Ashton Genty is a top 5 player in this draft. How high is he going to go? Is he going to go to the Patriots at 4? Do the Giants say, oh no, we got FOMO because we let Saquon Barkley leave and he won a Super Bowl with the Eagles? So there's a lot of interesting questions even in the top 10 picks.
Well, I want to ask you about Cam Ward, because I was on our evening show talking to Dave McGinnis, the color analyst on the radio for the Titans, and he talked about Cam Ward. He talked about Abdul Carter. He talked about Travis Hunter. But as far as Cam Ward goes, I've heard that from some say, comparing this year's quarterback class to last year, he would be maybe 6th or 7th. How good is he? Is he worthy of the number 1 overall pick in your mind after you've studied him? And what kind of fit would he be with Tennessee?
Yeah, I've put him at number 1 since the Super Bowl. I know a lot of people thought, Hunter or Carter would go ahead of him, but right. I think Ward is legitimately good. I don't agree that he would be the 6th or 7th. He'd probably mix in the middle of that group because he can do pretty much anything. He's sort of a cross between Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix in terms of playing style. With he's a 5-year starter really at the college level. He works from the pocket, work outside the pocket, and he's a playmaker. So yeah, he's going to throw across his body over the middle. Sometimes that's what playmakers do. We still see Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes do that all the time in the NFL, trying to get their team, moving on offense. So I think he's a legit number 1 pick.
We here in the state of Alabama, we've been keeping an eye on the talk and the buzz around Jalen Milroe. And whether or not, we thought it was a surprise that he got invited to come to the green room. I don't know. Do you see him potentially sneaking into the first round, or is he a 2nd, 3rd round type of guy?
I think he's a 2nd round type of guy. I think Cleveland or the Giants or something, or a team like that could end up taking him early in round 2. And that's fine because he's certainly got potential. And, this is not a guy that, has off-field concerns. You have to worry about work ethic or any of that stuff. So there's a real chance. Look, we saw what happened with Jalen Hurts, right? He got into the right situation, got to sit back a little bit and learn the game a little bit before getting thrown into the fire. get a good running game around him, and let him be himself and not try to turn him into something else. And that's where teams go wrong, I think. And you try to, make them do something that is not their strength. So I think he's good, has a good chance to become a starting quarterback in the NFL. I don't think he's going to go first round, though. I just think, in the short and intermediate area, he's not super accurate yet. He's got time to kind of work that out. We've seen quarterbacks do that despite, people saying, oh, you're born with it or you're not. I think you can still improve in things in life. I still hope I can, even at 50 plus years old. I hope I can improve in things. So I think he's a really good second round pick for somebody.
And then we're talking to Chad Reuter, NFL Network draft analyst, also working with NFL media, has for many, many years. What's the deepest position in this draft after you've evaluated it?
Defensive tackle, I would say put number one, because you can find guys at the combine this year. I think there were 39 invited, and usually it's more like 28, 29, 30. And it's become, with teams using a lot of multiple fronts, defensive tackles is, kind of a broad category now, right? You've got the 5 techniques that can work outside, shade outside the tackle. Got the guy that can play nose or a 1 technique right off his nose. So I mean, I think it's a broad category, but there's a lot of guys. And look, the Eagles showed last year what you could do with a front 4, and if you're effective. So I think teams are going to be looking at that. And then running back, you have to mention as well, because there's going to be a lot of day 3 guys taken, 15 or more. And they're, half of those guys will probably be very productive as rookies. Because they get thrown in, right away, obviously. It's harder rotation. So I think those are the 2 positions that you can really, take advantage of on day 3.
What is, you mentioned, we talked about the quarterback spot. I'm hearing a lot about the wide receiver position. Could we see a run on wide receivers early?
I don't see a big run on receivers in the first round. The only caveat I have of that, more top 50, you might see some guys, but the problem is it's not that deep a class. So it's possible some of these teams late in the first, early in the second, try to grab guys. So that is possible. But like a guy like Luther Burden out of Missouri doesn't have the fastest 40 time, and he's not elite necessarily in pure change of direction, but he just makes guys miss somehow. He's slippery, and he's also a very strong runner. He's kind of got the Deebo Samuel prototype. So I think he could go late 1. I like Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State a lot more than other people, because people look at him playing the slot at Ohio State, and he doesn't have to play there. He can play outside. But when you've got Jeremiah Smith, you have Marvin Harrison. Those are going to be your outside guys, obviously playmakers. So I think he's going to be better than people think. And then you've got Matthew Golden and Ted McMillan going somewhere in the middle of the first round. Well, and you have to throw in Travis Hunter, because he's the best receiver and the best cornerback in this draft. So he's going to go early. So I think obviously probably number 2. So there are some guys at receiver, but the depth is not fantastic this year.
And Chad, you just mentioned Hunter. I do think he's the best player in the draft, and he can definitely play both ways. But as we talked to Dave McGinnis yesterday, he said, look, he can be elite, but he's going to have to major in one and minor in the other. After you spend a lot of time evaluating his film, what if you're a team like Cleveland or the Giants, somebody in the top 3, where do you see him going, and what position do you think he is best for him to focus on full time, and then play the other position situationally?
Yeah, I think what they'll probably do to start with is play him at corner, and then use him in situations in certain packages at receiver. But to be honest, when I watch him at receiver, that will probably last about half a season. And then they're going to want to get the ball to him as often as possible on offense. So if you can give him some rest on defense, and have enough depth at corner where you can, let him take some breaks there and get him on the field on offense, because he's got special ball skills. There's not been a lot. I've been doing this for 25 years. Not a lot of guys I put ahead of him in terms of ball skills that I've seen. And, he's a special player, and I would get him on the field on offense as much as possible, but it may take a few weeks to kind of, get that going and see exactly, how he wants to be used.
We've mentioned Travis Hunter, we've mentioned and Abdul Carter, but I mean, is there any more guy polarizing in this draft than Shedeur Sanders? Is there any more guy that's just polarizing because of the last name of it? I mean, where does he go? Where does he fit? Quarterback wise, where does he fit in?
Well, I'll tell you, I like his fit with the Raiders quite a bit because, look, Mark Davis likes names. We know that Mark Davis has talked to Deion Sanders over time, maybe about being the head coach, maybe not. We also, Tom Brady's now a minority stake owner in that team, and he's worked with Shedeur on and off the field for years. So I like his fit with the Raiders. Geno Smith signed, is under contract for a couple of years, but how many times have we seen a contract signed and then a guy taken in the top 10 at quarterback? We see it all the time. And so I think that's a really good fit to there. I still think the Giants are a good fit there. They may, end up taking Abdul Carter, fantastic pick. They may actually like Jackson Dartmoor. We don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But I still think he can handle the spotlight. And it's just a matter. Look, he one of the reasons for it is, like you said, Deion's son, and he's a confident guy, and he believes in himself, and he should. He should believe in himself, and he's a good player. I've seen him in the combine. I was on the floor seeing how he was interacting with other people, and guys love him, and they want to play with him. So I think the lot is blown out of proportion with him. So if he were to, end up with the Saints or the Raiders, I think those are the two spots he's most likely in the top 10. I think they're going to get a good player because I think he's so accurate from the pocket. He knows the game. He's basically been a professional quarterback since he was 15 or 16 years old. So he knows the game, and he could still learn. He could sit back, learn from a veteran, try to ingratiate himself into the team a little bit. And, he'll want to play, and he will get his chances, injuries and whatnot. But if you can get him in the right situation, I think he's going to be really good.
And last few minutes with Chad Reuter. NFL Media does a great job with the NFL Network, draft analyst. It's a broad question, but you've studied everybody in this draft. In your mind, who's maybe the most underrated player that's being undervalued that you think has a chance to go in round one or even slip out of round one, but be a really good fit for someone?
Walter Nolan, the defensive tackle from Ole Miss, I think is going to be a stud in the NFL. And who's going to end up with them is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. because Howie Roseman, GM, likes to move up.
Yeah.
And he sees that talent. And they never really replaced Milton Williams after he left as a free agent. Walter Nolan could play the 5-tech, 3-tech. Look, they just won a Super Bowl. If they get Walter Nolan to replace Milton Williams, put him in the NFC Championship game. So,
yeah, no doubt.
Oh my goodness!
And then, of course, it's a little bit of a slippery slope. But who's a guy maybe that's being overvalued that you think maybe is going to go too high, or is someone that's could still be a really good player? We don't want to say anybody's going to bust, but has high bust potential.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting to see how high Shamar Stewart, the edge rusher from Texas A&M, is going to go because, look, there's been guys that have had less production that have been, top 15 picks. But 4.5 sacks in 3 years is not ideal for that position. And the reason you have to do more, you have to look at why that's happened, right? And why it happens is he is great against the run. He is so strong at the point of attack. He can, if a guy gets into his area, he can swallow him up, whether it's a running back, quarterback, somebody who gets into his area. He's not the greatest at changing directions, getting that body moving one way to another. So he's going to have to improve there. But if somebody takes him in the top 15 picks based on, his ability to get off the ball, he's going to have to earn that. And so I'll have to see. I think he's better probably in the 20s somewhere. like Tampa Bay, where he could play some 5 technique and then also go outside at times, and they can use his versatility better. But I wouldn't take him too early.
Right.
Well, great stuff.
It's great stuff. And then my last question for you: are you surprised? I'm a little bit that we have now. I'm sure we'll see some during round 1, but there hasn't been any pre-draft trades so far.
Well, it's funny
with the picks.
That's been a recent trend. Has been either no trades, other than in the 10 to 13 area,
right?
Or it happens a month before the draft, right?
Right.
Now, the exception was when the Cardinals went up to get Paris Johnson, and then so there was some trades, but I think really like Dallas, Miami, I mean, some of these teams in the early teens will probably be where the trades start. Is my guess. So it hasn't really been a surprise to me because we've seen it enough in recent years. But I think it would be more surprising to me, like if Jacksonville takes a call from somebody like the Bears or something for Ashton Genty at 5. That would be a surprise. That would be fun. That's a possibility. But really, I think it really starts once you're outside the top 10. And I think that's really where the trades start.
Well, it should be a fun night in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And I can imagine we've seen a lot of great draft nights with fans and the atmosphere. Green Bay is unlike anything other in the NFL. So I'd imagine tomorrow night will be a fantastic night.
Yeah. I'm proud to say I'm from the state of Wisconsin. I'm in Madison.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm really happy to see it up there. But I have to say, you guys, you're putting me on before Mike Detillier, and that's really unfair to me. Because he's going to make me look really dumb when he comes on.
No.
I just wanted to give Mike a shout out. He's been doing this longer than I have, and I saw he's going to be on after me.
Yes.
So he's done a really good job for a long time. So I just wanted to give him a shout out.
Well, we love it.
I haven't got a chance to meet him ever, but he seems like a really good gentleman.
He tells the best story about Lion season.
We like the stories with him and Peyton Manning and and Arch Manning and Archie Manning. We love hearing his stories about all that stuff. So that's the good stuff.
It's the great stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
thanks, man,
for having me on. I really appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Chad. You're great. It's awesome.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. That's Chad Reuter. Give him a follow at Chad_Reuter.
Yeah.
REUTER.
Hey.
And he's with NFL Media, NFL Network. Does a great job as a draft analyst. But we will be talking to the one and only Mike Detillier. He got a great introduction there.
He did.
We'll be talking to him at 8:30, and he's got the full schedule. He's still got the M&D draft report. He works for SaintsReport.com. And so he'll be all over. We can ask him what the Saints are going to do. Could the Saints draft Shedeur Sanders? And what does Mike think of the quarterback class? Because he will give you his thoughts and his opinions.
Well, I thought it was interesting that Chad kind of liked Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
He felt like he had a lot of upside.
I like him. I mean, there's some that don't.
He liked Cam Ward too.
Yeah. I mean, Cam Ward's a good player. I just don't know if he's number 1 overall. I would still take Travis Hunter. I'm sorry. I think
you would go Travis Hunter still. Yeah, you would
all day long and then trade for a quarterback.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what, we can't trade a break, so we've got to get it in now, unfortunately. Let's get one in. When we come back, it'll be short because we want to spend as much time with Mike Detillier as we can because it's always entertaining. Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Got a new wreck, Vermont Road in the Parkway. Looks like that they paged it out with possible entrapment. They cancel rescue, but they're still keeping it as an injury type. Everything else from earlier, with the exception of that train tractor trailer crash, that one's in Morgan County in Falkville on West Piney Grove Road. Everything other than that should be clear now. The summer temps are here. Don't get caught without air. D&L Refrigeration can check your system before it's too late. Discounts for military, law enforcement, and seniors. 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
The Braves roll into the 2025 season with a singular focus. Bring home the division title and remind the league what Atlanta is all about.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley. 3-0 to Olsen, and he powers one. Deep right center field to the wall. It's going to fly. It's a home run. Back-to-back homers.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penney Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penney perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penney Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penney Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPenneyToyota.com. Bill Penney's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title, because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal. And we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beams likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Oftentimes, the wheelchairs our veterans and first responders receive from their healthcare providers are subpar at best. Some are falling apart, with a years-long waiting list for a new one. This lag causes a tremendous amount of stress for our heroes and creates a burden for their caregivers. Isolation leads to depression. We build what they need to get outdoors, hunting, fishing, or playing sports. Join the mission at wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back. Talking Ball on 87.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Welcome back into the program. Coming up in a little bit, Mike Detillier is going to join the program, and it's getting you ready. Really, today we are just putting all of the dishes on the table, and we are getting the table set for tomorrow's NFL draft. We are bringing out today, I guess you could say, it's kind of like Easter or Thanksgiving or Christmas. We are bringing out the fine china today. As far as we're not giving you any of those paper plates, or we're not giving you any of the styrofoam stuff. We're bringing out the good fancy china today.
And what I've learned with and Chad Reuter's been doing this and so on. Mike Detillier has been doing the M&D draft report for as long as we can remember, and it's been such a pillar of covering the Saints in the National Football League.
And he's been a big part of our show.
Oh, he has. He's been a huge part.
Rolling.
Since I've been on the air since 2015 here. But the thing is, with the NFL draft, the day of the draft is so hectic. Like, I've learned that. Like, it's easier to get people on the day before the draft, and then before, the madness starts, and then maybe have someone on a Friday after the first round. Now, the way the draft's set up, to get maybe some reaction to round one. The day of the draft is harder because there's so much. You heard what Chad talked about, how much he's been studying this stuff. And then you're trying to follow storylines, and you just talked about it as we were all, on the break. Yeah. About the buzz about Kirk Cousins
possibly being involved in a three-way trade. Yeah. I mean,
it'll be a three-way trade. What trades are going to happen? And so Thursdays are just really tough. And so now that's the way the draft goes. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday deal. And it wraps up on Saturday instead of Sunday. So these guys put a ton of homework in, and that's why we're very fortunate to get Chad. We appreciate the NFL Network assistance there for getting him and the NFL media. And then we're very fortunate to have a good relationship with Mike Detillier from WWL Radio in New Orleans to get him on and give his thoughts.
Yeah, we wanted
Daniel
Jeremiah, but apparently he's a little tied up with Good Morning
Football. I guess. He didn't do a conference call. He does the Mel Kiper calls. Or two. Like if you're talking about the ESPN version and the NFL Network version, they're both very, very popular. So no question about that.
Well, and here's the thing, and coming up in just a couple minutes, Mike Detillier is going to join us, and it's always fun because he's the one that told us, look, a lot of this stuff you're hearing about player X, player B, and a lot of these, coaches tell you this, coaches tell you that, and you got all these people telling you about certain players. A lot of it's agent driven. A lot of it is the agents want this stuff out there, whether it be good or bad. That they want it all out there, and they do a lot of the planting. They do a lot of this behind the scenes work, and it's fascinating. And I'd say, let's get a break in, because when we come back, Mike Detillier is going to join us. And always good to check in with Mike. Always good to get his draft thoughts, and we'll do that next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky through the course of the afternoon, continuing to talk about the opportunity for isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s, dropping into the low and mid 60s as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning, holding on to the opportunity for a little bit of rain. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky once again for your Thursday, and once again, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 70s. We're also holding on to the opportunity for isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a new wreck, Vermont Road in the Parkway. Looks like that they paged it out with possible entrapment. They cancel rescue, but they're still keeping it as an injury type. Everything else from earlier, with the exception of that train tractor trailer crash, that one's in Morgan County in Falkville on West Piney Grove Road. Everything other than that should be clear now. The summer temps are here. Don't get caught without air. D&L Refrigeration can check your system before it's too late. Discounts for military, law enforcement, and seniors. 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Eck in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943. Member FDIC.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
This is Steve Moulton for Lee's Magic Tunnel. Do you live out of your car? Does your car look like you've been well lived in? Then take your vehicle to Lee's Magic Tunnel, located on the Parkway. Any size of the vehicle, it doesn't matter. Lee's will get it clean. Offering many types of washes, but getting it clean inside and out. Ask for the manager special. That's at Lee's Magic Tunnel, located on the Parkway, and located online at leesmagictunnel.com for more information.
Hold your block until the whistle blows.
From SEC Media Days to the National Championship game.
This was a great team win.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
There you go. Welcome back in. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. And as we mentioned, we've been putting the fine china out on the table today, getting you ready for tomorrow's NFL draft. 34 hours, 27 minutes, and 4 seconds until the Tennessee Titans will be on the clock for this year's NFL draft. And the Titans have come out and said the Titans have come out and said this, Drew, as far as tomorrow. We've come to the consensus. We will be at the number one pick on Thursday.
Stick and pick. That's what Dave McKinnis was talking about last night.
They're going to be at the number one. They got the number one pick. That's the consensus. That's what they know they're doing.
With our consensus, is one of our favorite people is now with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. You can hear him on the daily co-host of Sports Talk on WWL AM, and that's in really one of the largest sports stations in the United States, but definitely in the state of Louisiana, and out of New Orleans. And of course, he does the M&D Draft Report. He's worked for SaintsReport.com. Wears a lot of different hats, and this is like Christmas for him. And that's Mike Detillier. He's been kind enough to join us. And Mike, I got to tell you, our boy Chad Reuter was just on with us for the first time, and he's a big fan of yours. Really wants to meet you at some point in time.
Well, that's great. I enjoy his work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
no
Mike, Drew just mentioned it. This is like Christmas time for you. And we went back and we keep saying over and over in our heads again, a lot of these draft stock numbers that come out, these, hey, this guy's going to be a bust. This guy's going to be great. All these talking points. And we went back to what you told us last year, and that a lot of this stuff is driven by the agents. And boy, oh boy, I tell you what, from Cam Ward to Shadur Sanders to Jalen Milroe, there's been no shortage of talking points.
Yeah, and again, this is year 40 for me doing this, so I've kind of seen it all. Well, not say everything, but I've seen a lot of it, and I know where it's coming from. I get it every day, so I don't have to speculate where it's coming from. So again, though. Believe what you want to believe, but my feeling about the draft is my first initial impressions are the best. You start moving this stuff around, you're gonna just mess yourself up if you're a draft analyst. And no, we got these analytical nerds today do this. They don't watch any football. They just look off numbers. It's all they do. Now that's even more amazing to me. But and there is a part of the game that you want to make sure of. And analytics, or that's what they call it today, used to be data. Now today it's analytics. I guess it's a better name for it. That's how you get a job as an analytics expert. But it's all part of it, and it's all something. Bill Walsh told me years ago this. He won the Roselle Award here in New Orleans, which we give every year for the Touchdown Club in New Orleans. We were talking about the draft one year, and Bill tells me, he said, "You know what the draft's all about?" And I said, "Tell it to me, Coach." And he said, "It's nothing more than an educated guess." He's right.
Yeah, it
He's
really is.
absolutely right.
Well, and in your mind, who is your number one player in this draft? I always like to pick your brain, and I know you have. Yeah, me too.
Travis Hunter.
I'm totally there.
He's my number one rated player. He's the unicorn for me because I've never had a player that I thought I could project as a starter at wide receiver and cornerback, and he's the same dude. That there is no one else that I could think of. I get everybody say, "Well, Deion didn't play any offense at Florida State. He returned kicks, but he didn't play offense." And then, because I work with Bobby, Bobby tells me that they just kind of drew it up in the dirt, for Deion to play a few plays on offense and as a receiver. But Travis is a unique guy and very focused, tremendously talented. He's a gifted athlete, but I think also too he's a well-grounded young man. He was one of the top 2 recruits in the country coming out. Goes to Jackson State, and he can win anywhere. Goes there because of Coach Prime, and then he goes to Colorado and dominates there. And he won't have to wait too long to get his name called. Be right after, but. The one thing Bobby says, too, and, man, he told me this about 20 years ago, I guess, when we started working together full-time. He was like, "Mike, all this other stuff that all these other guys talk about, man, don't make no difference to me. Quarterback trumps every position on the field." Now, he said it sarcastically, but he's correct. I mean, I'm going to be honest. He said it, and he's absolutely right about it, and that's why, the Titans are going with Cam Ward, and Cam's the guy I saw at Incarnate Word.
Yeah,
I'm on the sidelines. Incarnate Word plays Nicholls State. I'm standing up watching. He's got a family member come walk up, and you might tell you. I said, "Yeah, thought maybe I owed him money." I don't know. He said that. Mr. Mike, I listen to you every day, man. I drive a truck and this and that. Next thing you know, Cam comes walk over and we talk for a few minutes. And a couple years later, him and I, we spent a lot of time together at Manning Passing Academy. He was at Washington State at that time. And so, man, he's an arm thrower. Again, they'll have to do a little mechanical work with him because you watch him throw. He's unique in that he rarely sets up and drives it. He sets up and throws it. It is all about arm. I mean, all about arm. So, yeah, but he's special talent. He really, really is. And you could see charisma, ability to want the ball in a critical spot. Man, he's a playmaker. Again, there's some kinks there, but I understand why the Titans want to get it. They don't have a quarterback. You have a impetuous owner who's building a brand new stadium, and her deal is, "Hey, I need to sell tickets. We got a new stadium going up. Get me my quarterback." Because I fired the last regime because he told me that Will Levis was the guy.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you look then. So if they go Cam Ward 1. Abdul Carter from Penn State, does he go number 2 then?
No,
or is Travis Hunter 2 and then?
Yeah, Travis goes 2. I think that's an owner pick too. I think Jimmy Haslam. You know what? That's the guy I want. I want Travis. This is the time of year that agents might drift you and drift media every which way but loose. But boy, I think what's not said a lot, sometimes owners get involved.
Yeah.
Directly involved. We see it with Jerry. I mean, don't tell me that he don't have final say on what's going on. And Jimmy Haslam and what he's done. And you could see his fingerprints on every move that the Browns make. So I think it's Travis Hunter, too. I think the Giants pick Abdul Carter. I do think they get some interesting calls about Abdul Carter, but I think he goes 3. New England picks Will Campbell from LSU at 4.
Great player.
And not only is he a great player, and he'll be the first round pick offensive lineman LSU has had since Alan Faneca in 1999.
Wow. And Faneca was great. Wow.
Faneca's in Pro Football's Hall of Fame.
That's right.
LSU's won, 3 national championships? 1999. They didn't have a first-round pick. It's unreal, but it's the one area that they've had some difficulties getting throughout that time frame. And he's a game changer, a culture changer. Man, listen, you step on the field with Will, you better strap it on. And I mean, I'm talking about practice. All this is serious to him. And I think he's the type of guy Mike Rabel will like just because of that. And he's so talented. So he comes to one of our camps last summer, guys. And, we start talking, and he's like, and I asked him, about playing the left tackle position. I like playing. And he said, but, I take offense sometimes. People get upset. If we run 66 offensive plays and I beat my guy 64 times, and then one time, guy gets by me and he gets a pressure, and next time, maybe he gets a tackle for a loss, and people calling me a bum. If you had a quarterback that threw the ball 66 times and completed 64, you'd be calling him great. and listen, he was serious as a heart attack with that. I mean, he was really serious about, and he took offense that, people, because he gave up, I think a couple of pressures people were talking about, and that, oh man, he's supposed to be this great tackle. And man, one thing with him, he come to play each and every week, and all this harsh hockey and these analytical nerds about he's got short arms. No, he can play, and he'll play left tackle, and he'll put good at it. I think the question mark in the top 5 for me is at 5. I have no idea what the Jacksonville Jaguars will do. You have a new regime there, and this team you talk about has been Xanadu. You ain't sure what's happening day to day there, and what they'll go. I think they would entertain trade value for Genty, Ashton Genty there, because I think they know other teams have a lot of interest in it. Early on, I thought Mason Graham would be the smart pick there for them. He gives you a big guy in the middle. Or Jalen Walker from Georgia. Another guy whose makeup is similar to Will Campbell. Man, he's serious about everything. I mean, ain't no fun and games with him. And I'm talking about even in practice. None of this cutting up. You're going to do it my way, and it's going to be the right way. And Kirby loved that, just like, Coach Kelly loved the way Will Campbell handled things. I think that's where the draft starts at 5 with Jacksonville. Because nobody's got a really good beat on there. You could say it's Graham or Genty or Walker. Yeah, you might get one of those 3 right. But nobody really knows there. Here's my thing. I'm not real sure the Jacksonville Jaguars know.
Yeah.
Mike Detillier joining us. Mike, your thoughts on Jalen Milroe?
When I look at Jalen, he reminds me a lot of Jalen Hurts coming out of Alabama. Not the Jalen Hurts that came out of Oklahoma. Because Lincoln Riley was able to get the sander, and he knocked out a lot of the rough spots in Hurts' passing game. And I thought he did a really good job. I remember that year. I think he finished second to Burrow in the Heisman. And he really had a great season at OU. But I think there's some similarities between Milroe leaving Alabama and Hurts leaving Alabama, not the OU Hurts, in that everything sort of comes out the same way, doesn't it, guys? I mean, everything is like a fastball. It doesn't have a changeup or an off-speed pitch. And it's why he's a unique athlete. And I could argue with you, he may be the best athlete in this draft class. Athlete. Man, his ability to run is fantastic. And he's dynamic in that feature. He throws a really good deep football because he can, air it out. He's got a rifle on him. The stuff that's maddening is to watch him throw a short intermediate throw. Some games, when he's on, and you guys seen it too, when he's on, he's on. But boy, when he's off, he's off. He's been awful. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact of his touch on those short throws are not there yet, because he throws an 8-yard pass like he throws a 30-yard pass. He got some steam coming out the other end of that. And so there's a lot of Dr. Phils in the world of sports. I can fix that. And they do have some people that can. And we saw Lincoln Riley do it with Hurts. I'm honest with you. Watching him that 1 year at OU and watching him wet it out, he was a totally different quarterback there. And so, you're going to have to be patient with him, and you're going to have a guy that knows how to get that sander and rough out some of the spots in his game that he has. I think he's an early second-round pick. I think there'll be a number of teams interested in him because dynamically, I could come up with probably 5 to 7 plays a game that I could use him in certain spots. Taysom Hill put the key in the door that you could do that sort of thing at the quarterback position. But is he ready for prime time yet? No. And I get why he was invited because, day 2 of the draft's a big thing too on the Friday night. But all this stuff about him going 18th or 21st or 25th, I'd be really surprised at that. But I think he's a very early second-round pick. I think on a team that's quarterback needy and feels as though they have somebody there that can help him with the rough spots of the game. But I go back to the one thing that's obvious is the fact that he is so erratic in the short intermediate part of the game. And that's such a big part of pro football today.
It is. And Mike, I've got to ask you, you talked about the best tackle in the draft. That's Will Campbell. I completely agree with that. The guards aren't as valued, but where do you have Tyler Booker from Alabama? Is he a first rounder or is he going to go in the second?
I got him as a first round pick. Tyler's a favorite of mine because, when you talk to NFL people, when they interview guys, and Tyler Booker gets brought up almost immediately. His team concept, his toughness, his focus, and he's a wide load now at guard. Now he's about an 1850 cab ride to get around if you're trying to get around him. And man, he is a load to handle as a run blocker. The thing that I liked about Tyler was you saw gradual increases in betterment of his game as a pass protector. Much better in his hand placement skills and also his feet. And I'm a big believer as a lineman, you have to have your hands and your feet sort of aligned. And a lot of these linemen today, their feet are almost off the ground. The one thing with Tyler, his feet are settled and he moves around extremely well, but he knows how to use his arms and hands and feet in coordination together extremely well. So I think a team in the 20s, they look at that. That guy's starting from day one. I mean, he ain't no watching. He's starting day one for one of those teams. So, yes, I do think he'll go in round one. I think he'll be a 20s pick in round one. And whoever gets him a damn good player.
Is there a surprise? Is there a surprise out there you think someone's going to take tomorrow night? I mean, is there one that we're just going to think, oh my gosh, I can't believe he went into the first round?
Oh, there's always one of those guys.
Yeah.
Because this draft is a little unique, Only have 17 guys graded as the first round pick.
Wow.
Interesting.
So that means
And
somebody will go in. Okay.
And so from 18 to 45 or 46, I'd have to look exactly. But in that range, all of them are like centimeters apart. So it might be a surprise to some people that so-and-so went in round one. But I think it's a unique draft that there's not a lot of what you want to call gold chip guys. There are a lot of good starters in this draft class, though. I do believe that. And so it's, when you're picking in the 20s and 30s, it means you're a pretty good team. So you can pick for much more specific need, and it may surprise you a little bit. I'm interested to see if a team goes after Jackson Dart in a trade up in late in round one. I think that's a strong possibility. Couple guys' names to look for late in round one. One would be Travion Henderson, the running back from Ohio State, because you see him in the backfield with Jaden Daniels with the Commanders. Because Jaden's scared the bejesus out of you already the way he can run, and then you got Travion. Man, he's a big play waiting to happen. The other guy I hear a lot about, and I said this a couple months back, it wouldn't shock me, and now I'm convinced there's a good chance it may happen, is Mason Taylor from LSU.
Love him, yeah.
And, because he really ended up with a very early second-round pick grade, but I got about 15, 17 others exactly the same way. And he's a big target guy. He's athletic. He's got a tremendous reach to get out and grab the football. And, boy, he got genetics. And I remember when Coach O recruited him and he got the commitment, I said, how good is he? And he was like, hey, boy, man, he can play. He's big, he's fast, he catch the ball. He got genetics. I said, can he block? He gave me a long pause. We'll see about that.
Speaking of Coach O, I did love Coach Orgeron going French Cajun the other day. I did see the video of him going French Cajun.
Look, at our age, he is one of the few, and he's a year younger than me. And he's one of the few guys that, because, we grew up same area. So he can speak it. I understand it, but I can't speak it. I never picked it up to speak it. And, a lot of times people say, oh, maybe your grandma and grandpa or your mom and dad were speaking it not for you to understand. No, that's just how they grew up, speaking it that way. And so Ed had a couple of aunts and a mom and a dad that they spoke it quite a bit. And he picked it up and he can still talk it today. And so I knew immediately Jacques Doucet from Channel 9 in Baton Rouge filmed it. It was his dad that was talking to him in Cajun French, and I knew what they were talking about. And it was about the warm weather in Miami. And, no. It don't get cold in Miami. Don't get cold in Miami. And about owning a house and a boat. Oh, no, I ain't got that kind of money. Well, I don't know about that. He got the condo.
Well, we know it's going to be a great draft, Mike. You're always generous with us. We appreciate the intel and these stories and your thoughts. Of course, it's going to start tomorrow, 7 o'clock. We're going to have the first and second and third. And then, of course, we're going to have 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round on Saturday. Let everybody know how to follow you, my friend.
Yeah, they can go on WWL.com, MikeDetillier.com, and you can find me somewhere along the route in that page. Man, I'm interested in what happens to Jihad Campbell too.
Yeah, me too.
He's a guy I really, really like, and I think he's got some big upside with him. It's too bad, he had the shoulder injury, but I still think, he's a top 20 pick in this draft class. He's a really good football player. I just wish they'd have used him a little bit more as a blitzer, because I think that he can do really, really well. But it remains to be seen. Whoever gets there, he goes to Tampa Bay, you'll have a lot of people upset here in New Orleans about that.
No question. Well, Mike, we appreciate it, man. Great stuff, sir.
Thanks a lot, guys. Y'all take care.
That was great stuff on Campbell. I was, our time's running short, but I'm glad he got that in because I think Jihad's a top 20 pick. I think his best football is ahead of him. He was learning to play off the ball at Alabama because he was recruited as an edge and had to move. They had, a lot of great players led by Will Anderson, Chris Braswell. There was Dallas Turner. There's a lot of great edge players that are going to play a long time in the NFL. So he had to move, but I thought it benefited him. And I just think Jihad is going to be a great player. And, I've heard of, Tampa Bay likes him maybe to replace Levante David down the road. So we'll see what happens with Jihad Campbell in the draft.
All right, we are literally about out of time. One thing we can tell you as far as a headline goes, the Braves have transferred Craig Kimbrell to Gwinnett, 3 1/3 scoreless innings with Double-A Columbus, walking 1 and striking out 6. So Craig
Jesse
Kimbrell
Chavez is back too.
Triple-A. Back at it tomorrow.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Tellurides, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia if you really want.